Welcome, everybody. It is Thursday, November 21st, and this is the Josh and Brother Caleb Sports Pick'em Show. What's up, Brother Caleb?
What's up? I'm glad you told everybody the date because they might not have known it unless you just told them. So, viewers, you're welcome for that.
It
That's
is.
why you guys all got on, so Josh could tell you what day it was.
Listen, I'm here to give people the important information. We are 1 week from Thanksgiving. That's important. I'm ready.
You are ready. You are a expert at Thanksgiving. I can say from personal experience, you are a Thanksgiving superstar.
I am.
For
Oh, I
sure.
appreciate it. What? Tell me what you are wearing. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh,
The Army hat.
yeah. I busted out some of the old Army stuff to get ready for the game this weekend. Probably the biggest Army football game outside of Army Navy in decades. Definitely, probably in decades. Obviously, huge for all of Vol Nation too, because if Army can go up there and beat the Irish, that would be incredible for our playoff hopes. So I've got my old black jacket from school, whatever this hat's called. I really don't know what it's called, but we used to have to wear it. So we're ready. Let's go, Black Knights.
Let's go, Black Knights. Look at that. You're looking good, man. Looking good. Got the Army stuff on. We got the Tennessee stuff behind you there. The picture that photo is from 98.
That's from 98. Yeah, that's from 98 when we beat Florida.
Feels like 98, baby.
Yeah.
We got I got the Tennessee snowman behind me, trying to get decorated for Christmas already. You got your Christmas tree up, Caleb?
No, after Thanksgiving. That's an after Thanksgiving project.
That's it. Right. Yeah. Like the weekend of Thanksgiving, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, that's in a perfect world. That's where we're at.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's great. Well, here we are. We got a lot to talk about. Big show. People are coming in, joining us live. You guys, thanks for joining us. Feel free to drop a comment in the chat there and ask us some questions, whatever you want to know. I'm Josh Mancuso. This is my brother, Caleb Mancuso, and we are partners in Honorable Mention Sports, along with our buddy Drew Bedard. And please check out honorablementionsports.com and make sure you're following Honorable Mention Sports on all of the social media channels. We definitely appreciate the support as we continue to bring you entertaining sports content. I would say the best on the internet. So
yeah, the best in the history of sports.
Yeah, it's like us and then ESPN and then like everybody else. So
yeah.
All right, so we got should we get into it?
Let's get into it. Let's get into where we head first.
Well, I guess we talk about some football games from this past weekend. Particularly, the biggest game of the week was Tennessee at Georgia. How'd you feel about that game?
Oh, it was definitely disappointing. I was quite frustrated. Definitely carried it with me through Sunday. It was very frustrating. Georgia played far and away the best game they played all year. I mean, what a game Georgia Bulldogs played. They played great on defense. Carson Beck showed his top-end talent, why he was been a big talk of the NFL draft coming into the season. He finally showed why, because he was throwing some NFL balls, back shoulder, tight windows, throwing balls before guys broke out of their route. I mean, he played a whale of a game. And then obviously what a great stadium and atmosphere they had there. So for me, there's really three things I thought of the game. One was Tennessee keeps losing on the road in some really big games. The next one was what an atmosphere and what a game by the Georgia Bulldogs. And then the third was you can't look at that game without some questionable officiating that happened in clutch moments, which we're going to talk about shortly. But those all three were the storylines to me. What about you?
I agree 100%. I think you're right. We got some questionable referee moments here that we're going to pull up. However, I will preface that and say that we don't think this is why Tennessee lost the game. But it is interesting. Dan Harrelson put this on Twitter. Notable road losses for Tennessee with former Alabama quarterback David Smith as referee during the last 10 seasons. So when Tennessee goes on the road, they have lost these games, and he has been the referee during those games. Interesting. Just interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of that, but Dan put it up. I thought we would share it. Definitely the refs had a part in the game, but I will say what you said about Carson Beck. Carson Beck is he looked like an NFL prospect, 100%. Like if he plays like this,
Yeah.
he will be, he would be a Heisman Trophy front runner at this point. I think
Oh, for sure.
he's struggled, but I mean, congrats to him for coming back. As a Tennessee fan, I wish he'd waited a week before he came back and decided to tear it up. But pretty cool to see him playing well. The whole team play well. And I'm with you on Tennessee's struggles on the road. Arkansas is a game that Tennessee should not have lost, and they, that was a tough one. So,
No. Well, you go all even last year, Tennessee went into halftime up 20-7 at Alabama, and then they lost that game and also did not score in the second half. They lost, I want to say 34-20.
yeah,
But I know for sure they did not score in the second half. So that's just a weird trend that has kind of emerged for
yeah.
Tennessee. It's like their one challenge Achilles heel. But I'd say this: who goes into Athens and wins that game? The way the Georgia team played, completely different than they've played most of the year. Who goes into Athens and wins that game with all the calls going against them? I don't know. I don't know if there's anybody that wins that game in that.
I don't either. I don't think anybody wins that game. I don't think Alabama wins that game. They were playing their best game. They're at home in Sanford Stadium. It was pretty remarkable to watch. Tennessee is certainly a one half football team, and it's been the second half
Yeah,
for a while. Not
no
this
kidding.
week. This time it was the first half, 10-0 up on Georgia, and then cannot do anything in the second half. So I don't know what to make of that.
Well, let's get to some of these calls.
Let's do it. So here we go. This is
brutal.
You remember this? Our producer's
Yeah.
going to play it a couple times for us. All right, this was ruled incomplete. Is that right?
Yeah, it was ruled incomplete. I think it's argued. You can argue if it's incomplete or if it's a fumble. I think what's most disappointing for Tennessee fans is they didn't even review this.
They didn't review it. Yeah,
they didn't even stop to review it. Now, Georgia had a fumble early in the game that was a little pop pass forward that they reviewed and got right.
Yeah.
It was the right call, but they were reviewing that thing before the kid was even down. Right, they're buzzing down there as he's running down the sideline. This one happens at Tennessee, and nobody is interested in reviewing it. And it obviously came at a pivotal moment late in the game in the fourth quarter. This could have given Tennessee a chance to swing the momentum and get a big play to get the game back to tied. So that was disappointing. What do you think? You think it's a fumble or no?
No, well, I think I'm with you. They should have reviewed this. It's too big of a game, too big of a moment and time in the game. As I'm watching this, I think as objectively as I can be, I think the call was probably right. I don't think he had possession of the ball yet. It's close. I mean, he takes one more step, it's a fumble, right? But he's not quite got the ball secured. He caught it and he's getting it there. But I don't think I think there's not enough there. I wouldn't feel comfortable as a referee calling that a fumble. I think that's an incomplete pass.
Hard to tell. The biggest point is they should have looked at it, right?
They should have looked at it.
No excuse to not at least stop the game and look at that play.
Yeah. We got some comments.
Right,
Charlie says it was a fumble.
Yeah, Charlie. We hear you, Charlie.
We hear you, buddy. It's a close call. We had a couple other calls. What's our next call we got here? There was a few that were different. Here's
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. This was
what? Oh my
What
God.
is this nonsense? You cannot. That is a false start if I've ever seen one. You cannot miss another pivotal play.
Yes.
On this drive for Georgia. They had to. It's ridiculous. They didn't call it.
This is unbelievable. I mean, I don't know. At this point, I think this ends up in a 28-yard pass. I think the guy gets down to like the 2-yard line or something like that. This is the play that basically put the game away. If there's a false start, I don't know if Tennessee still wins the game.
No.
But if they get a stop right here and they have to kick a field goal from like the 33, so that's now almost a 50-yard field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, anything's possible. So
100%.
I think this was it was a bad time call, just like the other one. The timing was poor. But two, it's just so egregious.
It's bad.
It's before the snap. It's a pre-snap penalty. Like, what the hell are they looking at?
I don't know. Who's watching the line? I mean, this was the announcers caught it. Everybody caught it.
Yeah.
I don't know how the refs didn't catch it, but we're not saying that Tennessee lost the game because of bad referee calling. Right? Georgia beat them. Like Georgia was the better team, but these are calls that gotta be made by officials. I think at this level of college football, you got to be good enough to see these things and,
Yeah.
like the last play, review it, even if it's the right call. You still got to review it because, like you said, never know what can happen. What if they called this false start? They back him up, things go differently. Now Tennessee's got a chance. It's tough. I've never been a referee, so I can't do it. I don't know, but these guys get paid good money. These are big time referees. They ought to be catching this stuff. These are big moments. So I think we had one more. This one is this pass interference here. My gosh,
This is
Malachi
egregious.
Starks. Look at this.
Absolutely egregious.
That another play that. Now I'm looking at that and I'm thinking if he catches that and is tackled, he probably doesn't get a foot down. Anyways, maybe not. I mean, the ball was going. But you never know because he was clearly pass interference, not called. He got there early.
Yeah, that's not questionable. That was also on a third down and 9. Third down 9. Tennessee's driving. I think they were in Georgia territory at that point and ended up punting off of that drive. So who knows what would have happened? But it's a big call. I mean, if they get a 15-yard penalty right there, they're deep in Georgia territory with a first down versus punting. Yeah, it's a big deal.
That's a game-changing drive right there.
It's a game-changing drive. And I think it was – I think for sure the better team or the team that played the best Saturday night won the game. I mean, there's no debate that Georgia played a better game than Tennessee, especially in the second half. The challenge is not only did they play the best, at every single moment that Tennessee could have seized some momentum, it felt like something went on. They were not allowed to do that. Whether it was a bad break, a bad call, whatever. I mean, we just talked about the fumble that Georgia had in the first half that was called incomplete. They fumbled the very next play, and the ball rolled like 10 yards down the field, and they got it back. I mean, that's just extremely good fortune on the part of Georgia, right?
It is, yeah.
It's extremely fortunate. The same thing with the face mask penalty that we don't have a clip of here, but happened on the same drive as the non-fumble call from the pass to the tight end. Maybe that was a face mask penalty. If so, a guy's hand getting stuck by accident underneath the helmet, that's crazy luck that went in favor of Georgia when they were easily stopped on that drive. So I think that was what was most disappointing for Tennessee fans.
Yeah. I mean, a great analysis there, Caleb. That's good stuff. We had some comments here. Glenn says only good thing in Georgia is their pecan pies. Well, all right.
Those are pretty good.
They are good. Not gonna lie. This guy, Black Metal Banjo, definitely was not a face mask. So he thinks
he certainly didn't touch his face mask.
If he did, he just touched it. He didn't use it. He didn't use it to tackle him in any kind of way.
Yeah.
You know.
I can give the referees some credit in real time, thinking about if you see a head snap like that and a helmet come off. That's hard in real time, but man, frustrating.
Yeah. But Tennessee was not the only team that had to deal with the referees not calling the pass interference. This big game between USC and Nebraska here coming down to the wire. Nebraska's driving. Look at this. Look at this.
Dude, that's worse than anything we just saw, I think.
Nebraska's wide receiver, Banks here, number 4, going for the ball. USC's guys mauling him, pulling his jersey, pulling him down. There's Ravioli, Patrick Mahomes wannabe. And here's throwing the pass. Look at this.
I mean, is this the play that ended the game right here?
This the play at the end of the game. USC
wow.
The deal with that interception. That is egregious.
That they got to do better.
They got
in clutch moments. They got to do better. That can't happen. Feel bad for Nebraska.
I do too. Never thought we'd say that, but it's unfortunate for them. It's just like bad calls are just part of the game, right? You have to just be able to roll with it. So their philosophy is always, well, you shouldn't have been in a position where the game's that close and you're relying on this one pass to win the game. Well, because you're going to get bad calls throughout the game. You should have won the game before that. So that's my belief. But I mean, when it's that obvious, when you got a guy pulling his jersey off like this and he can't even get to the ball, and it's at the end of the game. I mean, you're gonna throw that flag.
If it was an old '80s jersey that were tearaway, he would have just left with no shirt, just shoulder pads.
Been shirtless.
Just been out there shirtless.
Nothing but shoulder pads. That's what I
right.
wore for Halloween. Nothing but shoulder pads. That was my
Oh,
costume.
yeah. Oh, my God. I hope no kids came to your house.
No, I would never. So good, good. So that's a little bit of a recap from this past weekend. One more thing I got, Caleb, I got to say. First of all, you look great in your uniform. Just
Thank you.
I want to salute you, but that wouldn't be appropriate because I was not in the military. Do you still salute when you're out of the military?
No.
No, you don't. Like if you see
Certainly
a
not.
current officer, you don't have to salute him. You're like, I'm out. I'm done.
No. Heck
No.
no.
Yeah, it's a dumb question, wasn't it? Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's
so
okay.
no, so we got to bring up something about South Carolina. All right, I've got a clip.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
South Carolina, Tom Hart, the announcer, on Rocket Sanders' game-winning touchdown against Missouri. The building is literally shaking. It felt like an earthquake when he got in. This is towards the end of the game, I guess. And great run here by Rocket Sanders. We may have the video of this. Luke, do we have the video?
Felt like an earthquake when he got in there.
Has made some big plays downfield.
Got a small defender on him. Shovel pass.
Shovel pass.
Rocket Sanders dances to the 5.
Breaking tackles will not be denied.
Carolina back in front.
Go Cox.
Look at you.
Is literally shaking.
For Rocket Sanders, look at his double team, pushing Williams all the way back, and then it's just all Rocket Sanders breaking.
Okay, first of all, Rocket, I believe that was your nickname in high school, wasn't it, Caleb?
No, it certainly was not Rocket.
Okay.
What was your nickname in high school?
It was Rocket. Yeah, it was Rocket Mancuso.
Okay.
But I did more like a bottle rocket. More.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Space rocket.
The Roman candle.
So congratulations to South Carolina. I have been all up on South Carolina's hind end all year long, but they have proven me wrong. All you South Carolina fans that have been giving me crap, it's been well deserved. Okay, I deserve it. South Carolina is the real deal. They're a great team. I think they are one of the best teams in the SEC. They're on fire, and it's great to see. Excited for the Gamecocks and what they're doing. So congratulations, South Carolina, Rocket Sanders, Shane Beamer, getting it done.
Shane Beamer. I hope we have another crazy Beamer press conference, but it sounds like it was more tame than the.
Oh,
yeah. Than
no,
the whole
I could
bring the chicken.
We need to get. I want Shane Beamer to be on this show. I want to interview Shane Beamer or do a video with Beamer. Wouldn't that be good?
Let's do it. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
That'd be
awesome.
good.
That place is special.
Yeah.
When they have some big games at Williams-Brice, it is a special, special place.
It honestly, and it was really cool because this was the Battle of the Columbias, right? Columbia, Missouri, and which nobody really cares about, and Columbia, South Carolina, where
The real Columbia.
The real Columbia is, and South Carolina, man, I tell you what, they have won 4 straight games against good teams, and they are. I would not want to play South Carolina right now if I was any team,
especially Clemson.
Especially
God. Any team, especially Clemson, I would not want to play South Carolina.
It's going to be wild. And
Absolutely
speaking of which,
wild.
I'm going to be. I got my Clemson mug today. I'm going to be in Clemson on Saturday. Are
you?
At the Alumni Hall at 11 o'clock, doing a meet and greet like I did at Tennessee. I'm doing that in Clemson. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to go to the game afterwards, and they play the Citadel, so it should be a typical ACC schedule, and they should beat the Citadel pretty handily there. So go Tigers.
All right, I'm going to cancel all my weekend plans to go to Alumni Hall at 11 just to wait in line see you. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you need to. Yeah, I know we're brothers and all, but you're going to have to wait in line.
Yeah.
So
nobody gets to the front.
Nobody. Okay, I want to say Black Metal Banjo, awesome name. Says thank you for your service, Caleb.
Thanks, Black Metal Banjo. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Stacy, she said she loves Brother Caleb's uniform. So good stuff. We all appreciate you, buddy.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, how about your top 25?
You want to get
a lot of responses on your top 25.
Look at it. This is very different from my previous top 25s. I got some explaining to do, Ricky Ricardo. So
all right. So what's different?
Well, you know what? I've dropped Indiana back to 6, and I've bumped up Alabama and Georgia behind Oregon, and then Texas, Ohio State, Indiana, Ole Miss, Penn State at 8, Tennessee at 9, Notre Dame, BYU. I still got BYU in the top 12 because, look, they lost the game to was it Kansas? Yeah, I think it was Kansas. Or I forgot who they lost to. It was a bad loss, but
Yeah.
they still beat a couple ranked teams.
Yeah, it was
They're
Kansas.
still good.
Yeah.
They're still good. But I'm going to say I have been too high on Indiana. We've talked about this. I've been talking about Indiana. They're undefeated. And other people are like, yeah, but they haven't played anybody. I'm like, yeah, but this is the schedule they got, and they're killing people. And it's true. They are.
You
They're
dropped
killing
them way back, man.
I dropped them to 6. But, here's the thing. Each week for me, my top 25 is different. It's a clean slate. It's because some people are like, wait, you dropped so from 3 to 8 or from 10. Like, well, it's less about where I had them last week and just where I think they are today. It's like every week is a brand new 25. These are the 25 best teams in America as I see it. And I'm still figuring it out. So what do you think about my top 25?
You think Penn State is better than Tennessee?
No, I don't. I think no, I don't. I think they got one less loss, then that's the only reason why they are there. But there's probably not justification for that, right?
No.
Where would you have Tennessee?
So, I would have them behind Ohio State, but I'm not sure I would have Alabama and Georgia as high because Tennessee has the same record as Alabama and Georgia, and everyone's 1-1 against each other. Somehow Alabama and Georgia are 2-3, and Tennessee's 9.
Yeah. Here's the honest truth. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't know how to rank these teams because all I know is that I think I know who the best 12 are. I don't know what order to put them in, really. And I don't think anybody does.
What about Army at 22?
I know. That's the thing. I'm so inconsistent.
You had them at 16 at one time.
I did. I don't know what I'm doing. It was probably like midnight when I put these together. But
after the Georgia loss,
I don't know. Stacy, no, I don't. I just ranked them there. Yeah, that's my that's my take. Thank you. Okay, so Army and Indiana. Indiana has the 106th ranked strength of schedule. All right. Army has the 133rd strength of schedule, I think. That is both terrible. So in reality, I shouldn't have the 6 and the 22 that far apart. They should be close, right?
Yeah, that's what I think.
If they're both undefeated and their schedule is about the same, they should be close. So there's another inconsistency. Yet I'm
Big
calling
Ten bias
myself out on. It's bad.
It's hard to know. It's really hard to know right now. It's very hard to know. I'll tell you another one that could be ranked too high. We'll probably talk about this more later, but Texas. If you look at Texas's schedule, they're right up there with Penn State and Ohio State so far. Really,
I agree.
So
I have Texas too high right here. They've got their best win is Vanderbilt.
Yes, barely too.
So
close game.
Barely. I think Caleb. I think we got some comments from Facebook and other places. You want to read these for me?
Oh yeah. So we got this new segment this week. Saw the best comments Josh got on his top 25. Looks like Michael, bro, you had UGA at 11 last week behind 8 of these teams. You have more volatility than a middle school girl's emotions.
That's good, Michael. I know about middle school girls' emotions. I'll tell you that. I'm right in the thick of that with my daughters. That's
are in the thick of that. Oh, man. Put Alabama and Georgia at 9 and 10 and move 4 through 9 up a couple of spots each.
That's we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not too bad.
that.
Wow, you are bad at this. I'm a Georgia fan, and I don't even think we should be that high.
But Georgia's got, they've beaten like 4 ranked teams. Alabama's beat like 5 ranked teams. It's just I'm changing my tune over the strength of schedule and how much it matters. It matters a lot. Like Georgia would smoke Indiana. Alabama would smoke Indiana. Georgia did beat Texas. Alabama would beat Texas. I think they both would beat Ohio State. So that's why I got them up there. But I don't know how to do it and do it properly. But Ryan, you're not wrong. I am bad at this.
What was the last one? I didn't see that one.
Right here. What'd you say? I'll take Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and Ole Miss to beat anybody in that top 12. Not a believer in Texas after Georgia drugged them at home.
True.
SEC bias? Damn right. It just means more. Let's go, Case.
Yeah. So this whole part about Texas getting smoked at home in their only big game is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I think that's huge. That's massive.
Yeah.
Josh, the SEC bias is getting a little ridiculous. Well, I hope Brian doesn't come talk to me. But anyways, Bama lost to Vanderbilt. Texas shrugged with Arkansas, and Georgia has looked mostly bad all year. Okay. Having them all in the top 5 has got to be a joke.
Brian, this ain't no. Do I look like a guy that tells jokes for a living?
Yeah.
This is not this. I am serious about this. All right. This is these SEC teams. Yeah, it's SEC biases because the SEC is the best conference in American football, and just the best teams are there. That's a fact. I mean, hey, Caleb,
that's a fact.
That's a fact. Caleb, you would go crazy here.
That's a fact. This is a great list. As a Clemson fan, I believe Colorado should be ranked ahead of us. That's an interesting take. What?
Thank you, Myrtle Bleach. I don't know because Colorado.
Myrtle Bleach.
Let's go. Colorado is I'm skeptical. I've got them at 18. That's too high. They're good and they're looking really good. But I mean they're 8-2 with the schedule that's not that tough. So I think everybody just loves the hype of Dion and Shador, and these guys, Travis Hunter. But they are good. I don't know. It's close.
I think Miami should be lower. They haven't played anybody and lost to Georgia Tech. Okay, I buy that, Jason. I'll take that.
Lower than what I have them at 11? They're going to be likely the ACC champion if they can beat SMU. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. How did the Elephants get to number 2? Oh, I get it. Number 2, Dookie.
Mary laid it on thick. That's great.
That's
Roll
awesome.
Tide.
Absolutely awesome. Very top comments.
God, great comments here. And we got who else we got coming in here? Okay, Matt Love bringing in here. Matt, Colorado best team in the Big 12. Ole Miss maybe in the SEC. Go Army, beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, I love it. Go Army, beat Notre Dame. I hear you. Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's get out there and do it.
Miller's back. What's up, buddy? Bucks have a 1-point loss to the number 1 team that came down to the last play. True. And after this weekend, we'll have 2 top 5 wins that no one else can say. That is true. That one top 5 win, if they beat Indiana, would be Indiana, who a lot of people would say don't belong in the top 5. I got them. I got them at 6 or whatever. So, as we know, Caleb, my rankings don't mean anything.
They don't?
No. Well, to me, they mean the world. I mean, I think.
Yeah. And apparently to the people commenting.
They do. I get a lot of good comments. I appreciate everybody commenting on my rankings. That's great because it's a lot of fun. You want to go to the actual rankings now?
Let's go to the ones that matter. Let's go to the actual rankings that matter. College football playoff. These are the rankings. We can see where they're at. Do we have the bracket? We can see the bracket.
Yeah. Let's go back to the rankings there real quick.
All right.
Because what are your thoughts here compared? All right. So I had Alabama, Georgia 2 and 3. Here the CFP's got Alabama 7, Georgia at 10.
Yeah,
Georgia's barely in.
That's ridiculous. I think Georgia has got the best resume of anybody, and that you could maybe not Oregon because Oregon's undefeated and they had a big win. They've had 2 big wins, but Georgia has an incredible resume because they've played 5 top tier teams and come away 3-2.
Yeah.
So yeah, Georgia is way too far back. They are way too far back. Tennessee being that far behind Alabama seems just crazy to me. The fact that they beat Alabama. I think the other one I look at too is Ole Miss in here at 9. So of all these 4 teams, Alabama, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Tennessee, when they've played head to head, the home team is 4-0, undefeated 4-0. The visitors are 0-4. If that tells you how much home field advantage is in these big games.
That's big.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you look at these teams too, Ole Miss is the only one with a home loss. They have the worst loss by far at home to Kentucky. So I would put them behind Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia for sure. I'm putting Ole Miss back behind all of them. They're just recently got hot, but they've got the worst loss of all these teams. So yeah,
I agree with that. Yeah.
Penn State and Indiana, come on, man, that is rough. I mean, I don't know what these folks are watching, but they are not as good as some of these other teams.
Penn State at 4 is I think one of the biggest controversies, given that they hadn't beat a ranked team all year. Now that Illinois is ranked at 25, that would be their one ranked win that they have. But they lost to Ohio State by a touchdown. That's not a bad loss by any means. But
no,
4th, that's again. I just think a lot of this is they call it the eye test, right? It's like, I don't know. You can only tell, but by watching the games until they play each other, you just don't know. But I mean, something's got to be said for the gauntlet that Georgia has gone through and Alabama. I think Ohio State's a legitimate team too. I don't think they're the number 2 team in the country. I don't know. So
so this is what I see too. If you look at the strategy to play the weakest schedule possible and go undefeated or have one loss, look at the teams that have done that: Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, Indiana, and here the Fighting Irish, Notre Dame. All these block of teams are the classic we played nobody and either have one great win. Oh, Penn State, one great loss. Penn State has this just incredible loss. They bundle it up and they swaddle it and they give it to the playoff committee and they say, look at how great my loss is. And the playoff committee says, God, that's such a good loss. And I love your loss so much. And we're going to put you in the top 5. And the whole strategy of play the easiest schedule possible and get in the playoffs is absolutely working. It is 100% the way to do it. It's working. And so if you want to see more games like Alabama played last weekend against Mercer, Tennessee playing UT Chattanooga, Penn State playing all these crappy teams they play, then they're definitely encouraging it. They are not encouraging scheduling big-time opponents like Georgia, who scheduled Clemson, and they're getting zero reward for that at all.
Yeah.
So
spanked Clemson in the opening game.
Spanked Clemson. Absolutely spanked.
Lost to Alabama, but I mean, it was a close game. I thought Georgia had it won. Then Bama threw that touchdown to Ryan Williams. I mean, it's an incredible game. And then the loss to Ole Miss was just – here's the thing. I will say this about Ole Miss at number 9. I do think they're one of the 12 best teams in the country for sure. But – and I don't remember who was that said this, but the talent they've got on the Ole Miss roster is unbelievable.
Yeah, and the quarterback that they have.
He's so good. They could be undefeated, but they've got so many guys in the transfer portal. It takes a while for them to gel and figure it all out. But if Ole Miss is playing their best ball, I think they could beat anybody. I really do. They've got the talent to do it. Yeah, but I mean, they were able to take Georgia out. They played their best ball and beat Georgia pretty soundly. So it's just the thing about the SEC is they beat up on each other. At the Big Ten, you got 3 or 4 teams at the top, and then the rest of them are garbage. And then so they're like, oh, we're going to put all you guys here at the top. But so because they got less losses or good losses.
That's right.
Got to play some real teams before that.
Well, they're not playing enough real teams. That's the problem. They're not playing enough. Penn State has played one real team, and they got beat and at home. And it's like no big deal. It's like the amount of, what's the point of them playing that game?
I know, right? So Lee made a good point. Texas just scheduled a home and home with Notre Dame. It comes up in a couple years. Great move there. That's what these teams need to be doing. They need to be scheduling good non-conference games. I think the Vols tried to do that by scheduling NC State, who was a highly ranked team coming in, but NC State ended up not being as good, as they thought. But a couple notes before we go to the bracket. My opinion that Tulane and UNLV don't need to be anywhere near this top 25 ranking. I don't see that. I don't understand that based on their strength of schedule and the fact that they have a loss or 2. I don't know. I mean,
what are they doing in there?
I would have a 6-4 Georgia Tech who beat Miami and who has a healthy quarterback and is going to challenge Georgia in 2 weeks. I would have them in there above UNLV. I would have a 7-3 Syracuse team in there above Tulane. Why are we having all these, American Athletic Conference teams in here, right? I mean, and these I just don't. Is it because we just want to include them?
It's because they're not valuing a strength of schedule whatsoever. It's the same reason why they got Georgia at 10, who's played all these good teams, and they're not any higher, because they are valuing what your record is, whether you're playing high school teams or you're playing big-time programs.
Yes, that's it.
So the thing that's interesting to me is Army. So Army's at 19. No one's talking about Army getting in. Army's got a lot left to do. But here, listen to this. If Army wins this weekend, and they
beat Notre Dame,
beat number 6 Notre Dame, the next week they have to turn around and play Tulane in the AAC championship game, right?
Yeah.
If they win that game, now Army suddenly has 2 wins in the top 25, and they've got 1 in the top 10, which is 2 more than Penn State has. And it's also 2 more than Texas has, right? You can't leave Army out. And then of course they have Navy, who could ruin the whole thing. But you got Navy sitting there like 6-2. So Navy could almost be close to ranked at that point. So you're going to Army has a chance to get in the playoff. Like if Army wins here against Notre Dame, Tennessee fans want them to lose to Tulane in the AAC championship.
Yeah.
Because they have a bona fide argument if they win the next 2 weeks.
I agree 100%. Yeah. Well, so the bracket, first of all, if looking at it is confusing when you see the numbers, beside these, because BYU is 12 right there. Well, they're like 17th or something or whatever, 15th or in the thing. So these are the seedings, which are different than the rankings, which can be confusing. It's because they give the top 4 conference champions the buys straight into the quarterfinals, which would be at this point Oregon, Texas. They're thinking for just absurd to me that Texas would get a bye at this point. But this is how it is. Miami as the ACC champ, and then Boise State would jump up there. And look who gets left out of this entire thing. All right, the Vols, ranked number 11,
brutal.
Still can't get in. And that would be a travesty. I mean,
it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. I don't think that's going to happen because there's still a lot of football left to be played.
Yeah,
including Tennessee has to win at Vanderbilt. That's not a guaranteed game. But it's very disappointing for Tennessee. It's very disappointing to see Alabama, Georgia, and Ole Miss all have the same record and all have the same record against each other, and somehow Tennessee gets left out. It's really hard not to look at that and say, why? Well, what is going on?
Yeah.
Especially, like I said, with Ole Miss taking the worst loss of them by far.
Yes.
Kentucky at home. So I'll read these games to you. Why don't you tell me who you think is going to win?
Let's do it. A hypothetical picking of if this were the actual
this was the bracket.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. BYU at Ohio State.
I'm taking Ohio State.
Ohio State.
At home, especially, yeah.
Alabama at Notre Dame. Wow.
I'm taking Bama, even on the road. Yep.
Bama. Georgia at Penn State.
Georgia, and it's not even close.
Okay. Ole Miss at Indiana.
Ole Miss, and it's not even close. Yeah.
I agree. All right, so now you got Ohio State at Boise State.
Yeah, Ohio State at getting the nice, easy schedule.
Sorry, it's not at Boise State. These are neutral site games.
Correct. Yes, good call.
Yep.
Yeah, so Ohio State has to go through BYU and Boise State. Ooh, so yes, I'm taking Ohio State to win that.
Yeah, what a good bracket that sets up for Ohio State.
Very nice.
Woo. All right, Alabama and Oregon.
Ah, golly,
Oh.
I'll go Oregon. I'll go Oregon there. I think I'm not going to pick against Oregon really until I see them lose. And I don't know. They snuck away last week from Wisconsin, but I mean, I'll take Oregon.
All right, so you got Ohio State, Oregon up here. So we're going to go Georgia versus Miami.
Yeah, I'm taking Georgia there. I think it's I think it is closer than you might think. I think Miami scores some points, but I'm taking Georgia.
Ole Miss and Texas. Wow.
Oh, that's a game I would love to see.
Wow.
I'm taking the Rebels, the Land Sharks, or whatever. I'm taking Ole Miss.
Yeah, what are they? Have you done a video about their mascot?
I have. That was one of my first ones. That they don't know what they were the Black Bears at one point or something. I don't. Yeah. So,
yeah.
So I'm taking Ole Miss to win that. So now, who's in my semis now?
All right, in your semis, you've got Ohio State and Oregon.
A rematch. A rematch.
Yeah.
Ohio State and Oregon. I've said all year that it is difficult to beat a team twice like that.
It is.
But I'm taking Oregon. I'm taking Oregon to beat them again. Ohio State. See, I'm taking Oregon to go to the championship.
All right, Georgia and Ole Miss.
I think I'm taking Georgia. I don't think Georgia loses twice to Ole Miss. They get that fixed. They've got their game going now. I'm taking Georgia. So we got a Georgia,
and
Oregon.
Ohio State.
No, Georgia, Oregon.
Did you take Oregon?
Oregon, yeah.
All right.
Georgia, Oregon. I take the dogs. I'll take the dogs right now.
Would you? You take the dogs
to beat Oregon? Yeah, I take.
Wow.
Them. Let's do it.
Wow.
That's you know
incredible.
What? I could do this again and pick totally different teams. I really have no idea. I really don't. I wish I knew what I was talking about, but yeah, that's interesting. We got to bring in this question from Miller. My question is, why does the SEC always schedule teams like Walmart third shift with 2 weeks to go? It happens every year.
I agree. I think it's dumb. I mean, let's be honest. Playing the Big Ten schedule is like playing the Walmart day shift for most of the schedule.
All season long.
You're playing Walmart day shift.
Miller, let me tell you something right here. Let me read Alabama. They just played Mercer. Yes, they did. But who they played before Mercer? LSU ranked, Missouri ranked, Tennessee ranked, South Carolina ranked, Vanderbilt was ranked, and Georgia before.
My God,
that's
their
before
schedule?
that. Yes, before that, Wisconsin, who they demolished from the Big Ten.
Jeez.
So in my mind, Tennessee or Alabama, they've played this gauntlet. They deserve to play Mercer for a break. So that is my take on that.
I wish they would just take an off week instead of. I don't want to see Tennessee play UTEP. Tennessee played UT Chattanooga. It's in the same school. Randy Boyd's the president of both schools. We sent an interdepartmental transfer from Knoxville campus to Chattanooga campus to send them the money for playing us. It didn't even leave the damn school system. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. They need to quit. Those games are stupid. I am totally with David on that. Those games are stupid.
I'm with you. They are stupid. But my point is that after that gauntlet, you got to give them a break. So maybe it's just a bye week instead of playing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Games. Frank here, he says Oregon and Georgia is what Saban predicted. Oregon needs that Georgia rematch. Look at that. So Saban and I are basically on the same page. He and I are both very good at this.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think we were going to talk about Indiana. We got a little thing for Indiana here. I think we had Josh Pate, who I love Josh Pate. His analysis is spot on almost every time. And I think hopefully Luke is our producer.
Indiana plays Ohio State this weekend. It's my opinion that if Indiana loses that game, they shouldn't be included in the playoff. Being from the Big Ten, your conference schedule will normally take care of any of this. It just so happens Indiana's conference schedule is not good this year. And here's how not good it is. If they lose this Saturday, and they are a double-digit underdog at Ohio State, if they lose, their best win will be against Michigan, and they will have played the bottom 6 teams in the Big Ten. Their out-of-conference schedule will consist of FIU, Western Illinois, and Charlotte. There's no meat on the bone. There is no resume there. You get your shot. It's almost like the way we used to talk about Boise. These G5 teams that everyone thought was good, but they had a garbage schedule relative to the big boys, that have like one power team on there. And everyone understood, okay, they've got to really perform well against this one power team, and that's their only shot. If they're 11-1, there are differing opinions out there. I think the committee's going to leave them out in the cold. But not everyone agrees with that. A lot of people think there'll still be room at the table for Indiana. If there's room at the table for Indiana, I am telling you, mark my words, if Indiana gets in over a 5th SEC team, and the reason is, well, Indiana's got one fewer loss than that SEC team, all hell will break loose. And in that particular scenario, I wouldn't even blame the SEC.
Yeah, he's right.
Caleb, what do you think? If Indiana's 5 right now is where the committee's got them. If they lose a close one to Ohio State, Are they in?
I don't think they should be in. Are you asking me what I think or what the committee's going to do?
Both. What do you think? And what do you think will happen?
I think they should get kicked right on out. They're not playing anywhere near the level of competition that many of those teams are playing, especially the ones from the SEC. What I think is going to happen, though, they're going to get in. They're going to get in at like 11.
Yeah.
10 or 11. I don't think the committee is going to kick them out because their behavior thus far shows that they don't really care about the quality of competition a team is playing. What they care about is the number of wins they have. That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, what if Ohio State just kills them, beats the brakes off of them?
They're definitely out. They gotta be. I mean, I think the committee, if they get absolutely smashed, I think the committee is going to knock them out because what they don't want is these playoff games to turn into just drubbings like they have before. And that's what could happen. They're trying to see, can Indiana compete? If they get smoked, no, Indiana is going to get they're going to get bounced. They're going to get bounced. I like this question from Susan. Tell me where Texas has a great schedule. I'm with her. I agree. Texas does not have a great schedule. No, they don't. They don't. And that's my point. The key is get you a weak schedule like Texas has.
Yeah.
And get through it. Texas is going to have a better schedule coming up because they got to play Texas A&M, and then they probably are going to play in the SEC championship game. So they're going to get 2 chances to get
looking that way. But yeah, here's Texas's 2 biggest games. Michigan, they beat Michigan, who's a 5-5 team this year.
Yep.
And Vanderbilt, who is good because they beat Virginia Tech and because they beat Alabama. But that's their best win is Vanderbilt. Their other top 5 team they played was Georgia. They lost that one pretty badly. Beyond that, they did beat Oklahoma. They did beat Florida. They beat Arkansas. They beat Mississippi State, Louisiana Monroe, UTSA, and Colorado State. So not a strong record there.
The Florida game was so skewed because Florida's playing their third-string quarterback who's a Yale transfer walk-on. Whatever.
Yes.
So if they had Lagway, I would definitely count that as a much better win. But I mean, they were inept without a quarterback. So at any rate, what's your thoughts on Indiana?
Well, I think I've watched Indiana play some football this year. They look good. Like they look like a really good team. And I've said all year, I've said they can't help who their schedule is and who they play. Their job as a team, Kurt Cignetti and their coach and their players, is to go out and play the best they can do. And they have beat the snot out of most of the teams they've played. So they're like, this is what we've been given. So we're going to show you what we can do. And they've beat everybody soundly, except for Michigan, which was a closer game, but they did win the game. Again, Michigan's a 5-5 team. I think Indiana's played one team that has a winning record, and that team is like 6-5 or something. Rest of their team. So it is bottom tier, which is why I think, if they beat Ohio State, they definitely should be in. I mean, and it's possible, they could do it. But if they lose pretty solidly, I mean, by a few touchdowns, I think you got to bump. I think you end up with the Florida State situation from last year where they were undefeated, but their schedule wasn't strong enough. They didn't have their starting quarterback going in to the postseason. The committee dropped them out. I think you look at the same thing. Indiana, hey, congratulations, 11-1. You're really good, but you can't compete with these top 12 teams. They're going to put you in the, Gator Bowl or whatever. We'll see what you can do over there. And then if you're legit, come back next year and do it again with maybe a better schedule. So, I don't know. I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens in the game. I like Indiana's offense, though. They're fun to watch. I mean, they are good. They're good. I think Indiana could probably beat some mid-level teams. So if Indiana was in the SEC, I think they could beat. I think they could beat Missouri. Maybe I think they would beat Kentucky. I think they would win some of those games, but I don't think they can beat Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas, Texas A&M. I don't think either. So that, I don't know. We'll just have to see what the committee says, but that's my 2 cents.
Love it. All right. So next we have some uniforms we can look at.
We do. We're going to do some trivia in a few minutes too. You guys are watching. You're going to want to stick around for this trivia here in a few minutes. It's going to be a lot of fun. But okay, so there's some uniforms, Kayla, that we've got that we're going to check out and kind of maybe vote on what we think are the best ones.
All right, let's vote.
Okay.
All right, here's Oregon.
That's a sick. That is nice. They get those feathers going up through there. The silver. They get kind of the matte finish on the helmet. Oregon does uniforms better than anybody.
They do.
In the country. Okay, we got SMU.
SMU. These are sleek.
Those blacks.
These are sleek.
That's nice.
Nice. They're not with the blue trim.
Yeah. That's good.
See the classic.
Dude, that classic USC with the stripe on the sleeve, that maroon and gold. Reminds me of high school right there, buddy. Our school colors and science silver, maroon and gold. So
I like it.
Uh-oh.
Army. Oh, I think these are this weekend.
Woo, look at
Notre
that.
Dame.
Look at that speckled paint and that all black with that bright white. Oh, dude.
And they got the units from the 101st logos where they were in World War II. So it's the logos from World War II for the different units that were in the 101st Airborne this week. So that's pretty cool uniform.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Okay,
Boise State.
I think when you have bright colors like that, it can be hard to make a uniform look like really sexy or cool or sleek because the bright colors. But that's the all white with the pop of the orange and the blue, and they got the state in the shape of the state, Idaho.
That's cool with the horse. Yeah,
the Bronco. The
Bronco.
That's
cool. Although I love their uniforms. I like best when they're blue and match the blue turf, which I think is illegal now. I think they outlawed that, but that was
that's like camouflage.
It was bananas. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of Army uniform comments.
Yeah, you guys drop comments in there. What's out of these 5? What do you like for uniforms here?
Like it.
Stacy
says Army. Stacy says Army. We like it.
A lot of Army.
I'm picking Army. I think Army's is better by far.
I'm going to roll with Army too.
Todd says go Army.
Let's go. That's that all black and that is just bad A right there. That is.
Yeah.
If I were to rank them, I think I would go Army uniform number 1. I think I'd go USC number 2. I love that classic, and then probably Oregon, then SMU, then Boise State. How would you rank?
I'd do Army and then Boise.
Okay.
And then USC and then SMU and then Oregon last.
I like that.
Yeah, Brett Crabtree says Army. Yeah.
Army, let's go. Man, appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you're following us on Honorable Mention Sports channels, not just my channel. I appreciate you guys following me. Make sure you follow Honorable Mention Sports because that's where other content besides my goofy videos will come up. So make sure you're doing that. We're going to get some trivia going here in just a minute. But first, we've got some picks. We're picking some games. Usually we pick 12 games. We've narrowed it down. We're just doing like 6 or 7, I think, this week. So we're the more important games, I guess you would say. So, Caleb, let's get to it.
Let's get to it, man. So the first game on the docket for you, Alabama is at Oklahoma this week. Looks like they got a big chance to win, according to ESPN. What do you think?
A game that I was preseason looking forward to more than I am now. I've been to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I've been on the sideline. I've been at a game. It's a great environment. Wanted to see that crimson on crimson matchup, but Alabama heavily favored in this game. I think Alabama definitely wins. I don't think it's particularly close. And what's the spread there? 14. Yeah, I don't know. I think Alabama covers that spread. Alabama is rolling right now. They're playing some of their best football. So yeah, give me the Tide.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Tide. They're going to cover that spread. Oklahoma, they just have absolutely nothing on offensive side of the ball, just nothing. And so Alabama rolls. Got to give a real credit to Alabama's coach, DeBoer, after the Vanderbilt loss. He's pulled off. You got to give him a lot of credit. That's got to be a pressure pack situation after losing to Vandy. So I'm taking the Tide.
I agree. That is absolutely true. Very cool. I mean, and Vanderbilt's turned out to be actually a good team. So
Yeah,
it's not.
but
It wasn't
at the time, it was like, oh,
what happened. I got to show this real quick. Brett says, "Got to get that hair in regulation, Caleb."
yeah, yeah, maybe my beard too, and
Yeah.
my height weight standards need to get that back in regulation. If I'm gonna get back in the Army,
They will let you back in like that. That's good.
I need to do some push-ups and start running again.
Oh, that's good.
After
All
cutting my
right.
hair.
Our next pick, which is sort of the game of the week right here
Let's
for a
go.
lot of folks. Army at Notre Dame. Caleb, what is going to happen? Your alma mater taking on the Irish of Notre Dame in Yankee Stadium.
In Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, how classic is that? I wish I was going. Got plenty of friends that are going. Man, I wish I was going. But at any rate, yeah, Army not given a lot of respect here on ESPN Matchup Predictor, and I see why. They are so big and fast at Notre Dame. That's what scares me. The size of those kids and the speed of them. When Navy played them, it looked like they were really taken aback at the beginning of the game by just the physicality and speed that Notre Dame has. And that's what I'm most concerned with. If Army can just weather the storm of just the immediate shock of how big and fast Notre Dame is, I think they can win the game. I really do. I think they can win. But they got to weather that immediate shock that Notre Dame couldn't. Obviously, for Army to win the game, they've got to play almost perfect. I mean, they can't turn the ball over. They might have to make a timely turnover or two. They might need a couple of those questionable calls that Georgia got to fly up there to Yankee Stadium and go for Army, right? Sometimes you need them to win big games. My head tells me to pick Notre Dame, but there's no way I'm picking Notre Dame. We're taking Army, baby. The sons of Slum and Gravy coming at you. Go Army football.
Let's go. Go Army, beat Navy, and beat Notre Dame. That's
right. That's right.
I love it. I am, buddy. You know, you're my brother. You went to West Point. I'm so proud of you. You've done some great stuff. I love Army. I'm a huge Army fan now because of you. I want Army to win this game because I love Army. It also helps Tennessee as a Vols fan. Army pulls the upset over Notre Dame in Yankee Stadium, but it ain't going to happen. I'm taking Notre Dame.
I don't blame you.
Because it's
brutal pick.
It's so tough. But you know, I think that the Army is semi one-dimensional with Bryson Daly being such a great quarterback / running back. I mean, he's like top 5 in the country in rushing as a quarterback. I mean, he's just unbelievable athlete. But Notre Dame is, I've heard from people, Notre Dame is overrated. I don't know. I mean, they are a good team. I think Notre Dame defensively is going to be able to contain Bryson Daly. Maybe not at first, but they're going to figure that out. They're going to contain him, take away some of the other opportunities they may have to score. So I think Army keeps it interesting for a while. Notre Dame pulls away at the end and takes care of business and gets it done and ruins the hopes of Army fans everywhere. But I hope I'm wrong. I am pulling.
I hope you're wrong too.
I hope you're
wrong too. Hey, this is one for our friend, Mr. David Miller, in the comments. Always, he loves the Heisman talk. Hey, if Bryson Daly goes off and has a big game, God, you got to start thinking about Bryson Daly for that Heisman. 100%. Rushing touchdowns, got to. So, all right.
I mean, even if they lose, Bryson Daly is an amazing athlete. I think he deserves to be in the conversation. So, yeah.
I'm with you, 100%. All right, next game on the docket is Vanderbilt at LSU. Huge game for Brian Kelly out of nowhere. Who would have thought this ends up being a big game? It's in Death Valley. I saw LSU had a players-only meeting this week after the shouting match that went on the sidelines between Brian Kelly and a player. What do you make of that, and what do you think?
I think the wheels are falling off down there at LSU. And
do you?
I mean, they're arguing on the sidelines. It's bad. But I think they pull it together. I do. They are favored in this game a little bit. I think I want to pick Vandy because there's such a great Cinderella story. I like Clark Lee. I like Diego. And it's just great to see what they're doing. But they got to go to LSU, which normally is a problem. Now, Alabama went in there and mopped the floor with them in their own stadium. But Vanderbilt, I don't think that Vanderbilt beat Alabama, but Vandy is not in a place right now that they were. I don't think earlier. LSU, they need this win so bad. I mean, they're 6-4, and a couple of those
Hard to
games they
believe.
won, they barely won, like South Carolina.
South Carolina.
I mean, they should have lost. So I'm going to take LSU. I'm gonna bet on that players meeting, that kind of come to Jesus meeting. Like, guys, what are we doing? We are LSU, and we gotta get it together. So I'm gonna take LSU to win, potentially a close one, but I'm going with the Tigers.
I'm with you. I'm taking LSU. I think the stuff on the sidelines a little bit overblown. Crazy things can happen in the emotion of a football game, and that doesn't mean they always stay personal through the whole rest of the season. I'm concerned LSU. Everyone's concerned about LSU. This is a massive game for Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't win this game, or if they come out and look lifeless and look flat like they did at Alabama and lose this game by a couple scores, it's going to get ugly in Baton Rouge. I just think their backs are against the wall and they're going to come out swinging. Those kids should have a lot of pride. They should have more pride than they've had. I'm going to get it to LSU.
I like it. That's a good pick. You're right. Brian Kelly, he needs this game badly, and I think
he needs it.
He knows it. So I think they get it done. Next pick here, a game that we didn't think we'd be picking before the year started, but BYU at Arizona State. That has college football playoff implications. That is wild.
It's wild.
This is a Big 12. The winner of this game would go on to the Big 12 championship more than likely. Is that right?
I think to play Colorado.
Probably play Colorado.
Yeah. Colorado's in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm taking BYU. They looked bad last week. They've looked bad 2 weeks in a row, but they have been a good team up until these last 2 weeks. I'm taking the Cougars.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've been excited to watch Arizona State all year long. It's pretty cool what they've done here. I'm excited that they're in the top 25. They're kind of this unheard of team. Nobody's talking about them. Haven't talked about them all year. I think BYU, like you said, learning from that loss they just had, they are a good team and they can win and they can win on the road. Yep. But Arizona State is favored in this game.
Yeah.
The 3.5.
Yeah, it looks like 3 down there. Yeah,
3 in the spread. That is wild. I'm taking BYU. Give me the Cougars. I think they're legit. And if they're not, then they're definitely going to be gone. And then if BYU loses this game, we're going to end up with Arizona State and Colorado, and one of those teams end up being in the college football playoff, which is wild.
I think it's going to be Colorado, but
yeah,
I digress.
Could be. We're both taking BYU. So all right, the Cougars. Who's next?
Ole Miss at Florida. And this game is a noon kick. I'll tell you my opinion straight away. Ole Miss got lucky that this game is not at night. They got all kinds of lucky. Yeah. This game could easily be at night. What's your thought?
Yeah, I was tempted to pick this as an upset for Florida. I think DJ Lagway, is playing. He's back. He's good. Great quarterback. But at this point, I'm rolling with Ole Miss the rest of the season. I just – not just because they beat Georgia. That was a big win. It was a solid win for them. But they are playing their best ball right now, and I think they roll through the swamp and take care of business down there at Florida. I think could be a high-scoring game on both sides. I'm not sure. Ole Miss defense is good, but Florida's going to put a few points up. But yeah, I'm taking the Rebels. I think they win.
Yeah, taking the Rebels. So I'm taking Florida. I think it's upset time. There's a few big surprises left in college football this year, and I think this is going to be one of them. Florida is playing with incredible confidence as long as they have Lagway back there. They've got incredible confidence right now. Yeah, look at this stat. Thank you, Luke. Look at that. Lagway is 3-0 in games he's played the full games, and he's 3-1 overall as a starter. The one loss was to Georgia when he went out hurt, and I think they would have beat Georgia if he didn't. They
would have had a shot for sure. Yeah,
it would have definitely gone to the wire. So I'm taking Florida at home. That's a team that's coming together. They're a 10.5-point dog, and I think that could be a wonderful little sprinkle on a big money line upset this week. I think it's just plus 270, maybe it's just plus 300. It's probably around there, but give me the Gators.
And here's the thing about these. This is great. I love this, Caleb. The thing about these rankings stuff too is like Florida is a 500 team. They're 5-5, but they are better than their record shows, right? They are.
For sure.
Which is why, but you can't rank Florida currently in the top 25 over a UNLV.
No.
But I think Florida beats UNLV.
I don't
they
think
play.
UNLV is going down to the swamp and beating Florida right now. But I'll tell you
No.
this: the Florida team that lined up against Miami and the Florida team that lined up against Georgia were two different teams.
Yeah.
Like they have, and it shows you still have importance of continuing to get better as the season progresses. And that
Yes.
team has gotten a lot better as the season progresses. And you look at the difference between them and LSU right now, man, no one would have ever thought at the beginning of the year you'd say, wow, look at Billy Napier compared to Brian Kelly's team. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's where they're at.
So it's very cool. Okay, 2 more picks we got. All right, next up is Colorado at Kansas.
Yeah.
Only
Kansas.
pick this game because Kansas keeps tripping people up. What do you think is going to happen here?
Yeah, what's going on with Kansas? They're not scared of anybody. All of a sudden, they're playing. They love the role of spoiler in November. I'm taking Colorado, though. The Buffs are for real. It's not just a hype train. He started to get it figured out, and he's actually got a football team around these two great players in Shador and Travis Hunter. So give me the Buffs.
I like it. Kansas was highly ranked at the beginning of the year, and thought they were going to have. Well, they were ranked, I guess, but at the beginning of the year, and thought they would have a much better season. And they started out okay, then they just dropped it and lost it. Now their last 3 games, I mean, they lost to Kansas State by 2 points closer. Then they beat Iowa State. Then they beat BYU. They're 4-6 record-wise. It makes no sense to take them over Colorado, but I'm going to do it. I'm taking Kansas to upset Colorado.
Woo!
And throw the Big 12 into even bigger tailspin. I love Jalen Daniels, the quarterback, is a great athlete, and he's showing up now. They're playing good ball. They're going to be up for this game. They're going to be hyped. They're coming off some big wins. They're going to be ready to go. I'm taking Kansas, Jayhawks. Baby.
All right. We'll see. That's a big. I took Florida. You took Kansas. Wow.
I got to pick one upset every week.
Got to.
Yeah.
All right. Last game of the week. It is the absolute game of the week. It's a Big Ten game, which, of course, the Big Ten plays their big games at noon because that's what that conference does.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we move on to the game. Who are you taking? Indiana at Ohio State.
Man, I would tell you what, I've thought all week long that I might be taking Indiana to win this game. Honestly, thinking they might do this.
Really?
I've enjoyed watching them play. They're so good. I don't think I can, in good conscience, take them for one main reason, and it's just the talent on that Ohio State team. I think in Ohio State's defense, Indiana has not faced a defense like Ohio State. Indiana can score points. They can, and the teams they've played, they've scored a bunch of points, but those teams have abysmal defenses. Toughest defense they played is Michigan, and Michigan's defense isn't awful, but it's not good.
No,
Ohio State's defense is pretty elite. And so for that, I'm going to take Ohio State. I think it's possible Indiana covers that spread of 13.5, because I do think they will score a little bit. And I imagine a low scoring game, though. I think, I don't know, 28 to 17. I don't know. I really know the score prediction, but I am taking the Buckeyes. I think they do win the game. But I think it's going to be one of those games where Indiana is going to be, it's not really a blowout, but it's not a close game. And so we end up in this position of just like, well, we don't know what to do with Indiana now because we don't really know how good they are. So that's my take. But I'm taking the Buckeyes in Ohio to get it done. Horseshoe.
Oh, I think that's a great breakdown. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen. I think Indiana's going to lose. I think it's going to be relatively close in the first half. Ohio State's going to be deeper and more physical and pull away in the second half, and they're going to end up winning by like 10 to 20, somewhere in that range, and nobody's going to know what the heck to do with Indiana because they're going to lose the game, but it's not going to be a bloodbath, and it's not going to be like an overtime. So, yeah, that's my prediction. We'll see how it pans out, but I think close early, Ohio State pulls away, and then we'll have a lot to talk about next week.
We will. I can't wait. I love the craziness that happens within college football.
The playoff is awesome. And when you go through those games and we start picking, it gets me so excited for them.
Yeah. Now, Miller here is talking about Miller, where'd you go? Ohio State's going to seriously banged up O-line. I'm not aware of that. Didn't know. But, I mean, even still, I think there's still too much for Indiana. So, So we got some trivia here to end, but before we do that, we're gonna talk about real quick. We kind of missed this earlier, but if you're a Tennessee fan, and I know that we have a lot of listeners and viewers who are not Tennessee fans, we just happen to be Tennessee fans. We try to cover objectively as best we can all the games, but we will certainly at times look at something through our orange colored glasses, and so we're going to do that now really quick and look at the scenarios for Tennessee for all you Vol fans out there. This is what Tennessee fans need to be watching and who they need to be rooting for the weekend. Caleb, walk us through this real quick.
Yeah, so Ole Miss at Florida. If Florida can win this game, which I predicted, Ole Miss is clearly out of the playoff situation, which puts the Vols squarely in it. Indiana, Ohio State, we've talked about this quite a bit already, but we need Ohio State to beat the brakes off of Indiana, which they're capable of. We'll see. Army versus the Irish Notre Dame this weekend at Yankee Stadium. We need an Army win. A loss for Notre Dame will certainly put them out of the playoff. Penn State at Minnesota. We need a Minnesota win. I don't know. Everyone loves Penn State's losses so much. Maybe they'll actually move up if Penn State loses another game. Another great loss to give the committee. But in all seriousness, if Minnesota wins, Penn State's probably out. Josh likes Minnesota's chances this weekend. I was surprised.
I do.
By
It's not a game we picked. We didn't pick it, but I'm not going to go as far as to say Minnesota wins the game, but I think they can win the game. I think Minnesota has shown up in a couple games that they weren't expected to show up in. They beat Illinois. All right. They beat Maryland, UCLA, USC. All right. Decent wins for them. They just lost to Rutgers last week by 7. So you never know. But out of this group here, I think if you're a Vols fan, the most likely scenario is that Minnesota upsets Penn State, in my opinion. And Caleb's picking Florida to beat Ole Miss, but you need something like this to happen.
Need somebody to happen. And you got Alabama and Oklahoma. I don't think that'll happen, but that would help Tennessee. I got Brett Crabtree down here in the comments says, I feel pretty confident the Vols are in. Yeah, I agree with you, Brett. There's enough games coming up, and the Vols are close enough that something is going to happen in college football, and I think Tennessee's going to get in. So,
that's great. Good,
Rob Stein. Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good pick, Florida over Ole Miss. I thought about it myself, but I'm too high on Ole Miss right now. I think they're too good, but we'll see.
They're feeling it.
So we're going to go to some trivia here to wrap up the show. A lot of fun. I love doing trivia, so we're just going to go back and forth. I'll ask the first question. All right, Caleb, you ask the second question, and you guys feel free to jump in here if you want to try to answer these questions as well. All right, what team, Caleb, has the most defensive touchdowns this season?
I have no idea. Defensive touchdowns. Can you give me a conference?
And I don't know the answer. Only Luke or
you don't know the answer.
So we'll both answer. But I'll let you go first.
I'm going to pick maybe Army. I don't know.
All right, maybe Army. I'm going to pick Ohio State. I'm going to go to Ohio State. It's probably some random team we didn't think about, but Tulane.
Oh, Tulane.
How
about
Green
that?
Wave. Wow.
All right, next question for you.
Okay. All right.
Which team has the highest percentage of scoring in the red zone? I actually am going to take Army on this.
All right. Well, I was going to go Army too, actually. But we're both rolling with Army. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
hey.
Very good.
How about it?
Very good.
The Buckeyes. Wow. Which team has the highest percentage of defending in the red zone, Caleb?
I don't really know. I know Tennessee's was really good before Georgia, but Georgia probably knocked that well down. Who else would have a great defense? All right. How about Indiana? I'll take Indiana.
Hey, why not? Yeah. I'll go Tennessee on this one.
All right.
Army.
Oh, Army, what? Oh, I should have known that one.
Oh, man, that's good. Caleb?
Defense has the most sacks. I'm going to say Ole Miss.
Which team's defense has the most sacks? Ole Miss. That's good. Dang, I don't know. You're saying Ole Miss?
I'm saying Ole Miss.
I'm gonna go Penn State.
Okay.
Oh,
Aha.
nice. Well done, buddy. Nice. Okay. Which team has scored the most points per game?
Miami.
That's a good pick. I'm going to go Indiana. Dang, you are whipping me right now.
Bang. 2 out of the last 2. Yeah, we need to keep score next time.
I know. I know. All right. Which team has the highest completion percentage? Pass completion percentage.
Makes me think of like a old Hawaii team or something.
Right. Yeah. Hawaii, Fresno State.
Honestly, Army could be a competitor in this one because sometimes they'll throw the ball 5 times and complete 4 of them.
That's true. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna sneakily say Army.
You're gonna go with Army on that one. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Clemson.
Okay.
See, maybe Clemson's in there. Oregon
Makes
They
sense.
are number one.
That's a pretty good stat.
They are the best team in college football.
Passing yards and passing touchdowns. Who's the Oregon quarterback? Gabriel. I'm gonna go with
which
him.
quarterback has the most passing yards and passing touchdowns? You're going Dylan Gabriel?
Dylan Gabriel.
I'm going Cam Ward.
Okay. That was my second pick. Got
it. Cam Ward.
mean,
in my mind, still a front runner for the Heisman at this point. People got some good comments in here, good guesses in here.
Which player has the most rushing touchdowns this season?
Ashton Jeanty.
He is he's got to have it.
Got to be Jeanty. If it's not, yeah. Behind him, it'll be. I'm pretty sure Bryson Daly's up there. Dylan Sampson.
That's true. Bryson Daly would have been a good pick there. He's had a ton.
Oh yeah.
Which quarterback has the most rushing touchdowns? Oh, I'm taking Bryson Daly.
Bryson Daly, easy. I mean,
Bryson Daly.
Yeah, Bryson Daly.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that monster. Look at that.
Yeah, dude,
he's
an animal.
Ready to run through the wall at Yankee Stadium. He's ready. Last question. Which player has the most receiving touchdowns this season? Oh, that's a tough one. We haven't had any.
What about
major
Shedeur?
Receiving touchdown? Oh, it's about Travis Hunter?
Yeah, I meant to say Travis Hunter. Yeah.
Okay. Receiving touchdown season. Oh man. I feel like this is a player from like a San Diego State or somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know. The only one I can really think of would be Travis Hunter. But I don't think that's right.
I don't think so. I'll take Trey
Jeremiah.
Harris. Oh,
you called it. Yeah, you called exactly where that kind of program that'd be coming from.
Yeah, I said San Diego State, but San Jose State. I was going to say Trey Harris from Ole Miss because that guy is good as well.
Awesome.
Good trivia. If you guys like the trivia, let us know in the comments and places where what you want us to do on the show. Trying to figure out different segments that are fun, interesting. I love picking games, talking about controversial stuff, rankings, all that good stuff. Doing a little trivia. Make sure you're following us too on Honorable Mention Sports channels, and if you so desire, scan that QR code, give us a couple bucks there to keep the channel going and keeping the opportunities to talk football and everything going. So we'll be doing this every week. Now next week, I don't know, it's Thanksgiving, so we may or not be doing it on Thursday. That is Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
So we'll look for a Wednesday show. Maybe we'll see about that. But here, look at Miller coming in here. Miller coming in with the Heisman update.
He has to have it. He loves the Heisman. This is the Heisman update, brought to you by David Miller.
Look, that's right. Love it. All right, Caleb, go ahead. Right, we'll finish the show with our top 5 Heisman candidates.
All right, it looks like Travis Hunter is the odds-on favorite for sure. If they keep winning it, and if they win the Big 12 championship, he's going to win. He's going to win. All right, but you got to give top 5. You got to take the Boise State running back, Ashton Jeanty, right?
Yep.
I'm putting him in. I'm putting the Oregon quarterback in, Dylan Gabriel. I'm putting Cam Ward in from Miami. And then in that 5th spot, I'm probably going to put Bryson Daly, and I might add a 6th, maybe put in Tennessee running back, Dylan Sampson. He had 100 yards and a touchdown last week, so we'll see.
And the loss to Georgia, but yeah, I'm with you on all those. I think you mentioned. I think at this moment, what Travis Hunter has going for him is that he plays both ways. I mean, and he's just a great athlete. He can, he put out a great video recently of like him on each side of the ball, like going squaring off against himself, right? Like he's playing both sides of the ball. It's very cool. And
That's
the
cool.
graphic when they in the game is like Colorado's impact players on offense and defense. It's just him. He's both the impact.
Yeah. Oh man, he's gonna win that thing. He deserves it.
I think he ends up. I think the three that end up being in New York are Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter, and Cam Ward. That's who I think ends up being there. You can't
All
deny Cam Ward and what he's done for Miami. Without him, they'd be
They're
struggling.
500 team.
Yeah, I mean he's an incredible quarterback. I mean he's probably going to be a pretty decent NFL quarterback, I would say. Great comment here from Chuck Lee, Tyler Warren, the tight end at Penn State.
That's
Great
sneaky.
athlete. That dude, he's throwing them, running for him, catching them, doing all the stuff. It's pretty cool. I think if he were to have some big games, going forward, he could certainly be up there. But yeah. Miller coming in with the comment here at the end. Does playing on both sides really make you the best? The stats on both sides doesn't add up, though. I mean, I think I get that comment because, I mean, his stats don't blow you away on offense. I mean, he's got some yards and touchdowns. I think it's his ability to play both sides and be a factor on both sides, right? It's like he's your go-to guy on offense. He's your go-to guy on defense. You take him out of the game, Colorado's not Colorado.
They're not.
So there's value there.
Love it, man.
Good show.
Well, good show.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah. Go watch some football. We got Thursday night football tonight, NFL, Amazon. Make sure you're watching football all you can. Just watch football all week.
It's a secret to life.
That's all there is to it. Yes, someone asked, I'm drinking out of a Clemson mug. I am. I'm going to Clemson this weekend for the game, so should be fun. And thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you're following Honorable Issue Sports on all the networks, all the channels. Donate if you feel like it, and we'll see you next week.
All right.